Hey, welcome back to my channel, That Geeky Gal. My name is Gracie and happy Pride Month! For Pride Month, I wanted to bring you some geeky themed magical stuff to create. And here I have a nice fairy potion and this Pride Month themed Harry Potter wand. I really wanted to do something Pride Month for you guys, and I love Harry Potter, and I thought I need to make some type of potion and a wand. So for the potion, I decided to do a fairy themed. I had seen these sensory bottles on Pinterest, and I decided, I wonder if I can use a potion bottle to use to make something Pride themed. So let's go ahead and get started. We are going to need a potion bottle of any size, some sensory water beads, and a little bit of baby oil. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make your water beads. I got these on Amazon, and all you have to do is just follow the instructions. For my water beads, I went ahead and doubled my amount. You don't have to double it. I doubled it because my kids get to play with the water beads that I don't need to use. So go ahead and open up your water beads, and they are super tiny. Look at that. It's so interesting how the water changes. So I'm going to be using a teaspoon and a cup to get my water beads ready. Here they are. So I went and used 2 teaspoons of water beads. I changed containers because one of them was too small, and I went ahead and used 6 cups of water. And 1, 2, and 3. Our water beads are all done. After 8 hours, of course. Look at those beautiful water beads. Aren't they so mesmerizing? The camera really grabs them so neatly. And the color, I love the color. It's just very pastel-ish. Love it. All right, next we're gonna be using our potion bottle. I got this at the Dollar Tree and it was filled with seashells. So I'm gonna take off the label and I'm gonna go ahead and use my seashells for some other project. Make sure your bottle is nice and clean on the outside. Now, sticking with our rainbow theme, I went ahead and separated all my water beads into the colors that I'll be using: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple. The easiest way that I found to separate them was using like this paint separator because it's white, and that was the only way I could see the actual color of the water beads. If I tried using my hands, I couldn't really tell some of the water beads. You can on camera, but not in person. Now, next thing we have to do is fill up our potion bottle. Start with red, obviously. Unless you want to backwards your rainbow, you can always do that too. So go ahead and start with your red, or your pink in this case. Now I'm going to go ahead and pour in my orange beads. Next are my yellow beads. And will be my green for this one. Make sure you grab all the stragglers. The blue, and the purple. Now, if they mix a little bit, that's totally fine. And this is how it's looking. We're getting there, right? They kind of do look like little fish eggs. You want to make sure that your top just goes ahead and still fits on there. All right, next I'm going to be using some baby oil. The baby oil will give it that nice magical effect. So go ahead and pour in your baby oil. I'm going to pour it all the way to the very, very top. After that, we're going to go ahead and place in our cork. And this is what it looks. It looks so magical, right? And so I was reading that fairy eggs are actually real in the Harry Potter land. So you never know what you could be using them for, some type of potion, right? I tried putting some hot glue on top of it. I didn't like the way it looked, so just ignore the hot glue bit there. Now I'm going to be using this sticker book from Michaels, and in this sticker book I'm looking for something that'll fit as a nice little label for my potion bottle. So I found this little bottom one right here, and you can use anything you want. It doesn't have to be this exact sticker book. It can be any piece of paper, and I just wrote fairy eggs the way I wanted to. I found a placement for it. And here it is, my fairy eggs potions. This looks so magical in real life, you guys, and if you hold it up to the sun, it looks even more beautiful. All right, let's get started with our next project. So for the next one, we're going to be making our wand. So you're going to be needing a dowel rod, a pretty long one. I think this is about 12 inches. We are going to need, of course, the colors of the rainbow. So I'm using red, orange, yellow, green, blue, purple, and some white, of course. I will be using a paint separator. I will also be using some clay, air dry clay, some Mod Podge, obviously a paintbrush. I'm using a silver pen and my glue gun. All right, so here is my dowel rod. Like I said, I believe this is about 12 inches, and I will link everything down below in the description box for you guys. What you're gonna wanna do now is you're gonna wanna grab some of your air dry clay. You're not gonna need too much of it, just a little bit. And I've been using this air dry clay for a while now, and I just really wanna get it done with. So, grab your air dry clay, make sure it's nice and kneaded, add some water if you need to, and all we are going to do is wrap this around our dowel rod. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to roll it out into a snake, then flatten that out, and then use that flat piece and stick that onto my dowel. It is a little bit tricky to stick it on there, obviously, because it is wood and I'm doing my best. Now, this wand is going to be a very organic looking wand, so it's not going to be the most polished wand, but honestly, I love my wands a little bit like that. So all I'm doing here is I'm pressing the clay into the dowel rod, and I'm removing as much excess as I can. I'm trying to make it nice and thinner at the top and thicker at the bottom, and this is what it's looking like. So I'm just gonna flatten it out a little bit on my board here, make it a little bit straighter. And I see that I still have a little bit of extra on there, so I'm just gonna keep pushing it into the dowel rod and removing as much excess as I see fit. And just molding it to the way that I want to mold it to look like. Okay. So for my special wand, I will be using a marble at the end of my wand. So I'm gonna be placing that at the end tip. And with a little bit extra clay, I'm gonna be making like a type of place where that marble can sit and lay on. And so here I'm just putting into place, making sure that extra clay piece is nice and secure for when it dries, and making sure that the marble will stay there. Now you can always use some water to make sure to smooth out all the bits of your clay out. And here it is. I had originally added some pieces to it, extra pieces on the top as you can see there, but I at the end decided to leave it and take it off. So I'm gonna place it in a cup for it to dry, and about 8 hours later,
the next morning.
Okay, the next morning, here it is all nice and dry. It does have a little bit of cracks in there, but it's okay. Just with some water and letting it dry a little bit more, it'll actually be okay. Next, I'm gonna grab all my colors of the rainbow, and if they're a little too bright or dark for you, what you're gonna be doing is mixing them with some white to make them the shade or the hue of that color that you want. So I wanted my wand to be a little bit more pastel-y, and my colors were a little bit more on the brighter end. So I'm just starting with the first 3 colors, which are red, orange, and yellow, and adding a little bit of white to that. Mix those up until you get the shades of red, orange, and yellow that you wish to get. And I'm ready to go. So I'm gonna be starting with red at my base where my handle's gonna be. Something that I did forget to mention that I'm gonna show you right now is you wanna make sure that your sections of colors are equally the same all around. So once I measured what I wanted, as you can see, I measured 1,000 times. I pressed some lines and I know which lines are gonna be the ones that I'll be using. That's how big each section of color is going to be. So I'm gonna finish off putting some of my red pinkish on there. Now, once my red is on there, I'm gonna be placing my orange color next. And when you place your colors, you can actually overlap them because I'm gonna show you a trick on how to blend them so that they look seamlessly. So it doesn't matter if they are overlapping and they look a little bit sloppy. And I went ahead and did the yellow as well. So this is my trick. I'm gonna grab a makeup sponge and I'm gonna add a thick layer of my reddish paint, and underneath that, my orange paint. And I will be using those and dabbing motion on my wand to make a blend or like an ombre effect so that it looks like the red is switching into orange. And I'm gonna be doing the same thing with the orange first and then the yellow. And again, with that, I will be blending that in. And I can think simply no logical for this trick. It's actually a nail trick, but it works for paint too. All right, and now I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of the colors. Make sure that your other colors are nice and dry before you proceed to this next step. All right, so after my yellow, I'm gonna be placing down some green, of course, and I'm just doing that process all over again. Placing green, next placing some blue, and for these colors, I didn't have to add white because they were already the shade that I wanted. All right, and now I'm gonna be doing that same sponge trick with the yellow and the green. Next, I'll be doing the green and the blue. And lastly, I will be doing the purple. Don't forget the tip of the wand. Okay, cool. Now I'm gonna be doing the blending of the blue and the purple. And I'm trying to use as much of my sponge as I can. Once again, make sure you let that dry. And here is our wand. I love it just the way it is right now, and I hope you love it too. But I want to add some more magic to it. So what I will be doing is I am going to be using my glue gun to give it a little bit of shape. First things first is I need to secure my marble at the very end of my wand. So with a little bit of hot glue, I will be placing my marble there, leaving it on for a little bit. Next, I will be slowly, and let me tell you, slowly but surely, adding some lines with my hot glue gun. I used a swirl pattern to go around my wand, and this takes a little bit of time because you don't want the glue to run and ruin anything. Here are all the swirl patterns. You can't really tell right now that they're there, but they are. I added some to the top of the marble as well. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I will be grabbing my metallic marker, and I'm gonna be coloring those hot glue marks that I made. And now you can tell that they are there. Now with a little bit of Mod Podge, I'm gonna be going ahead and sealing everything. I used glossy Mod Podge. And now here it is all sealed, and it gives it a little bit of a nice shiny effect. So now when I grab my wand, it feels awesome. And in 1, 2, 3, here are both of my projects, my fairy eggs and my pride wand. I really loved making this, you guys, and I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video as well. Comment down which one was your favorite. Was it the fairy eggs or was it the wand? Please make sure and follow me on Instagram. That way, if you make these same crafts, you can tag me and I can see how your wand or your fairy eggs came along. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye, guys.